Yeah, hey everyone. So, as we've talked about in the previous series of topics, we kind of covered what a network is, as well as how our devices uniquely identified in a network. So, with that said, today is going to be specifically talking about how data is transmitted over a network. So, with that said, we'll talk about network transport protocol, TCP, and IP. These are pretty dense and complex topics. So, with that said, I'm going to try to make it as simple as possible. But please feel free to supplement the information just from Google. There's a ton of good resources or any other video references you may find. So, with that said, what is a network protocol? So a network protocol is just a set of rules that determine how data is sent over a network, regardless of the actual devices involved. So this is that common language. We'll be talking about the internet protocol. So regardless of whether my phone is Mac based, it's some sort of Apple device, and trying to talk to a server that's Windows based. Though these aren't similar, Internet Protocol or Network Protocol allows you to send data from A to B because they speak this common language. So, with that said, Internet Protocol is the method by which data, so we'll talk about packets, are sent from one computer to another over the internet. So essentially how internet protocol works is you have your data set. Your data set is broken up into chunks called packets. So these packets are going to contain information about the actual content of the data, as well as the sender and receiver information. So where it came from and where it's going, which will then allow a series of routers to send the packets to the proper destination. I'll give a good example of this once we hit the next slide, but hopefully this makes sense thus far for you. We're not really worried about routers because this involves completely more complex topics we're not up to yet, such as routing tables and how essentially data is transmitted from these routers. So once these packets arrive, they're then handled by the transport protocol. So the internet protocol is more responsible. So while I change the slide, for getting the data there, transport protocol is more with ordering, error checking, etc. So let's say you split up your packets into five, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're going to want the end server to receive them as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You don't want them to be out of order. So 2, 1, 3, 4, 5 or something along those lines. That's the point in TCP. So the easiest example that I've seen online is, let's say you gave someone a puzzle. So you have your puzzle and you wrote a message, hello world, on the puzzle. So essentially, an internet protocol, you're going to break that puzzle up into pieces and you're going to send it to your destination. Transport protocol ensures that these puzzle pieces are going to be sent in the proper order, make sure that all the pieces got there, and if they didn't, they're going to ask for them to be resent, and items of that sort. So at a more technical standpoint, the TCP protocol will open up a connection with the recipient, whoever's receiving this data, and ensure that that data, those packets, arrive properly in order. And if there's problems, like I talked about, there's going to be re-asking for information. If packets are arriving out of order, they'll be retransmitted, items of that sort. And to make sure all this occurs, this is done through a series of acknowledgements. So once we get more distinct into the TCP and IP protocol, we'll talk more about how these acknowledgements and how that flow works. We're not there yet, but just note that TCP as a transport protocol is reliable for obvious reasons, but it's not as fast just because it takes longer to ensure everything occurs in order. All right, sounds good, guys. Enjoy the rest of your day.